Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to welcome you to this special webinar class on creating multiple $300 to $3,000 a month passive income streams in 2013. I've got a very special presentation and a special session, a class I think I would call it more, for you this evening on exactly this subject. I'm going to show you some of the strategies that I'm using at the moment to create exactly that result, and how I think you can take them and achieve the exact same result in a relatively short period of time. What I'm going to be doing on this presentation is showing you a number of case studies, a number of different bits of information, and really as many as I possibly can fit of techniques so that you can walk away from this class and go and do this stuff yourself. The format here will be a little bit slower than normal because we're going to spend some time doing some back and forth kind of stuff. Rather than me talking at you for an hour, I'd rather have some interaction, some real learning, if you will. That's where learning really takes place in my mind. So without further ado, I'm going to get this thing started here. We're going to have a look at creating multiple $300 to $3,000 a month passive income streams in 2013. I'm going to give you a 90-second who the heck am I? I never like these things. I always want to get to the strategy rather than talking about myself, but it is important for you or anyone else to know when it comes to things like this, when it comes to online marketing and learning it from someone. It's important to learn from someone that you know a little bit, someone that you trust, and someone that you have verified to some extent is who they say really does the things that they teach and really has the kind of expertise that you can bank on to reproduce their results. And like we know, and it's very unfortunate, in internet marketing, not everyone is like that. In fact, perhaps even the majority of people are not like that. Anyhow, 90 seconds, who am I? My name's Andrew Hansen. You might know me already or you might not. I've been running this business online for 7 years now, actually a little longer. I think this is my 8th year, just started. I started this when I was 19 years old. This is my career, this is my life. The stuff we're going to talk about today is all I've ever done. This is my profession to the utmost extent. I started off this business just a poor student, kind of living in a bedroom at my parents' house. I didn't have any money, really didn't have any resources at all at my disposal. Definitely didn't have any special skills or knowledge. I hadn't studied this stuff or anything relevant even in the past before. The beginning of my online marketing journey was similar to many people's who will be listening. I bought a lot of expensive courses. I think the most expensive one was about $2,000, which was way too much money for me at the time. I got scammed by gurus. I bought things that I thought were going to be one thing and turned out to be something quite different, and ended up really spending much more money than I made in that year. I was definitely down after my first year on profitability. I thought a number of times about not going through with it and going back to university, kind of getting a real job like everyone was telling me I should. For some crazy reason I didn't do that, and not too long after that first kind of bad year at the beginning, things clicked for me and started to really take off. And some of the things that clicked for me are things that I still use to this day and that we're going to even talk about on this presentation. Anyway, long story short, after I started to really get it when it came to affiliate marketing and making money online, my business grew quite quickly, as it is very easy, is very able to do on the internet. I built my business to 7 figures a year within 5 years of that period at the beginning, and really just haven't looked back since. In that time, I began sharing the strategies that I developed that did so well for me with other people, because affiliate marketing is a lot of fun in its own way, but I really just got a kick out of the connection with other people and being able to give people strategies that they would be able to implement exactly like I did and get the exact same results and see the same changes in their lives that I saw in my life. It's going from a life of being restricted to a life of abundance, both financially but also in your location where you live, and where you work with your time, how much time you spend working and how much time you spend on the things that are more important to you in life, and in many other ways as well. So in that time, I've coached a number of students on my affiliate marketing methods, quite a large number in fact, to 5 figures a month of their own affiliate businesses with the same methods that I've taught, and the same methods, at least a few of them, that we're going to look at today. And overall, I've helped thousands of people make their first dollar online using, again, the same principles and some of even the same strategies that we're going to talk about today. So that's a 90-second who am I. That's why I'm at least mildly worth listening to. That done, we're going to get straight into the strategy right now. Let me tell you a little bit about what this method is about, what this business model is about. There's many different online business models, even many affiliate marketing business models, and they all have their different advantages. What this model is about is running a minimum work for maximum income business online. So if you're looking for the kind of business where you can sit and gradually just develop millions of dollars by spending as much time at the computer as you possibly can, where you want to build up an enormous team of staff, build a company where you can own a building one day and have a nice big sign out the front and things like that, that's not really this kind of business. That's not what we're doing here. What this is about is minimum work for maximum income. It's about creating small, very simple web properties, or assets as I discuss them being later, that each provide a revenue stream. It's very small revenue streams. Well, relatively small anyway. So small revenue streams of $300 to $3,000 a month. That's about the average that these properties generate. The lowest they get is about 300 when they work properly, but they can get much higher than 3,000. But 300 to 3,000 is about the average ballpark figure. And the goal with this model is to create them and to particularly replicate them with minimal effort of yours. So you don't want them to be involving anything that you can't pass off to someone within a short period of time. Again, this is not the kind of business where you're going to be sitting, putting in long hours every day at your desk to be able to generate the money that you do. It's about having these assets, these web properties, working for you. We're going to talk much more about that. It's about creating these web properties that provide real value, so they're not black hat or spam or low quality in any way. They're real web properties that provide real value to real people and that last. So they're designed to make an income quickly and stick around so that they make that income for a long time. And finally, it's about using a systematized process so that once we've created one of these income streams, we can replicate them. We can do the same set of things and generate the same outcome. So we'll do one set of things and they'll build us our first site, and it might get to $500 a month, for example. And then we want to be able to do the exact same set of things again, just in a slightly different market perhaps, and sometimes even in the same market. We'll talk about that later. And get the same result. I want to be able to make another one of those sites then, so I can go from 500 to 1,000. Maybe my second one will even be closer to 1,000, so I can quickly scale my income from $500 a month to $1,500 a month, and so on. We're looking at creating something that's very easily replicable to scale up your profits. And by doing this, you can scale your profits all the way up to 5 figures a month in affiliate revenue. That's really the ultimate goal with this business. So I'm going to give you a real life example to start things off here, just before we talk about the strategy, so you can see exactly what I mean here and exactly what goes into something like this. So this is a site of my own, one of the sites from my own portfolio, and quite a new one. We'll talk about that later. So this is one site that I have. This site has 6 pages of content. It's got 6 articles on it. Very small site. It's a mini site in the traditional sense of the word. The total amount of work that I put into this site was around about 2 days, I think, spread out over a period of time. It's really not much work at all. The majority, for me, where I'm at in the business now, is outsourced of this work. Anyway, so this one site was 6 pages. The profit on this site is $11.95 a month. you'll have to excuse this picture being so big. I only wanted to make sure that it included the dates on here so that you could see this is something that I'm doing and that's working right now. So you see the dates here in 2013. This is the profit on that particular site. It's $11.95.41 per month. That was for a month period there. So this site as well, I'll show you the traffic stats as well. I snapped a shot of the traffic on this. The traffic on this one is just increased recently. It was quite a lot lower and the income didn't change much, interestingly, but this site gets about 260 visitors a day, which is actually, and you're going to see this later, quite a lot higher than the majority of my small affiliate sites. A lot of the traffic that I've got on this site is actually still unmonetized, so the potential for this site is probably closer to $3,000 a month, possibly higher. But for that amount of traffic, for probably 2 days work in total and the outsourcing and other things that I've done to this site, that's an income stream for me that I don't have to think about really much now. That's been ticking over very nicely, putting $11.95 a month in my bank account. Now that's not an amount of money to jump over the moon about, but that does a number of things in life, depending on your own circumstances and what things you have set up. That's one of a number of sites that are very similar to this, some that make less and some that make more, that we're going to look at throughout this presentation. But this kind of thing is the thing that we're looking to replicate with the method that we're talking about here. The snapshot of what you're seeing now is the kind of thing that we are aiming to build and then reproduce over and over again so that we can scale this to whatever income level we need. 5 of these puts us toward the vicinity of $10,000 a month, so that 5-figure a month mark. I'm not going to work out the maths here, but it's something like 6 or 7 sites like this. Remember, 6 or 7 tiny 6-page sites that you spend total amount of work as 2 days on could get you to 5 figures a month in affiliate income. It's crazy to some people. They don't believe it necessarily, but this is real as I'm speaking to you now. Certainly very possible and happening as we speak. So I want to talk to you now about the system. That's the kind of thing that we're looking to reproduce. Let's discuss the system. The system that I use for doing this, that is working right now, just has 3 steps, but they are very specific steps, and they have been tested and crafted and adapted continually by me over the really 6 to 7 years that I've been doing just this particular style of affiliate marketing now. The first of the 3 steps, the first thing that you need to make this happen, is what I call weird little markets. I'm just going to grab a drink of water here. Weird little markets are the first thing. So what's a weird little market? We're going to talk about exactly what that is soon. But a little market that's different to what most people think of when they think about markets. Excuse me. Beg your pardon. So the first step, weird little markets. That's the first thing that you need to make this happen. The second step is drop-dead easy sites. They're really simple little sites. They're blogs, actually. Very plain, very cleanly laid out, very simple, filled with content on them. Just simple, mostly text content. We're going to talk a lot about that later, but very easy sites. To set one of these sites up, it takes 10 minutes, and actually less when you know exactly how. The third step is free high conversion traffic. So once we've found this little market and we've established ourselves there with one of these drop dead easy sites, the only thing to do there is bring some traffic to them. And we're going to use free traffic for this and a high conversion traffic. So the kind of traffic where you don't need a lot of it to be able to make a lot of money. The kind of traffic where you can get 10 visitors to your site and you can make affiliate sales. And we're going to do that using the search engines, but we'll talk a lot about that later. There's a lot to discuss on that topic, actually. And there's kind of a 4th step, although it's not really a step because it's a step which is just go to the beginning and start the same process again. It's repeat steps 1 to 3. The 4th step is to diversify and replicate. So it's to do the same thing in many different weird little markets with many different weird little drop-dead easy sites with many different streams of free high conversion traffic. You do those same steps 1 to 3, and then you replicate them. You diversify, you set yourself down in different little markets doing the exact same thing, and you scale your profits to whatever the level of income is that you desire. We're going to look at each of these steps individually now, so I can explain to you really each of them, how they work and how you can go away and perform them yourself after we're finished here. So step 1 is weird little markets. I'm going to tell you exactly what this is. Weird markets mean that you cast aside those big markets, those common markets, those easy markets. You cast them aside and you look for weird markets. You do that because to run this kind of business, as an individual, as just one person, we don't have the resources to compete in those absolute biggest, most profitable markets. And we couldn't be bothered to spend all the time either. What we want is a market that we can enter very easily and that we can establish ourselves in easily so that we can profit easily. It sounds overly simple. The way we do that is by finding these little markets that people with big resources and big amounts, big teams, big companies on their side don't go after because it's not worth it for them to go after. If your revenue is $5 million a year, it's not worth it for you to go after a small subsection of some market that's worth $3,000 or $4,000 a month. But if you're someone like me, who's just, I don't know, just paying a mortgage and trying to travel a little bit, $3,000 or $4,000 a year is a pretty handy sum to have coming in every month. So that's totally worth it for me to go after. So we have an advantage in that way, in our agility, so to speak, to enter these markets that other people won't enter. And by doing so, we can make money a lot more easily. There are markets. What you need to understand is that there are markets all over the internet, small pockets of people that are spending serious money every day on weird little passions, weird little products. The thing about these groups of people is that they're very interested in the thing they're looking for. The thing they're looking for is always a product, something that they're going to buy, and they already want it. That's the bottom line with this. We're finding pockets of people who already want stuff, and we're helping them find the things that they already want. The thing that they want might be an obscure thing, a strange thing, or just a very specific thing. But there can be even large numbers of people that really want that thing that not many people are catering to, that not many people are helping that group of people with. It's really impossible to exaggerate how many of these markets there are. We're going to look at a technique in a second for finding some of them. I'm going to show you one of these markets live so you see what I mean. But you have to understand that with these markets, there is no chance of the competition blowing out because there is just too many of them. Even if in theory you could find every one of these little markets that there were, you would wake up tomorrow morning and there would be a whole new set of them. Because every day some business, or handfuls of businesses all over the world in different places are releasing new products. They're spending money to market them. People are finding out about them, and then they're going to look for them to find more information with the intent of buying them. So there's no end to there's no limit to the amount of profit potential there is with this stuff, and that's part of the reason why it's so exciting. These markets mean easy conversions, big money from small amounts of traffic. The thing about these markets are that you don't just find them easily. That's the rub with this. Most people are not going to be able to find these markets because they exist outside of major marketplaces. Some of them exist in these marketplaces, and there are ways to find them inside there as well. But the majority of them exist outside of common places. So I'm not talking about here ClickBank. I'm not talking about Amazon or Commission Junction or Share a Sale or any of those big popular places where an affiliate goes if they're looking for something to sell. They exist outside of that stuff, and there's no standard way to find them either. There are very easy ways to find them, but you don't know unless you know the technique. Without these specific techniques, you just there is no way to find those offers. You're not just going to one of those sites and scrolling through offers and happening to come across them. But with certain techniques, you can uncover those offers very, very easily. So what it means to find these offers outside of those traditional affiliate marketplaces is very low competition from other affiliates. This whole strategy is based on doing stuff where we're not competing against many other people, because remember, we're trying to put the minimum amount of time into this that we possibly can. So we're focusing on markets, focusing on opportunities where the competition is minimal, and that's what these niches are. That's what these little markets are. They exist in places that not many other affiliates know about them yet, or other affiliates are restricted from them for some reason, but we don't have to be. So fast market entry and low competition is what these weird little markets allow you to attain. So these, again, I reiterate, these markets are so profitable, but you need techniques for finding them. Part of the reason that I developed success early on was that I started to realize that these techniques existed, and I started to look for them, or not look for them. I started to just develop them. I started to see different ways of finding these kind of niches, these kind of offers. I started to notice places where they happened to come up, and I started to develop techniques for helping other people dig them up. And I've got quite a number of those now, and I use them day in and day out to get this stuff done. So rather than just talk about that, I'm going to flick over to the live screen now, and we're going to look at an example technique, an example kind of a thing that you can do that will help reveal these kind of markets to you. And in the process, we're going to come across a market that we're going to do a little case study on afterwards. I'm going to show you exactly the potential for profit that exists in some of these quote-unquote weird little markets. Okay, so the place that we start for this little technique is the AdWords keyword tool. Now, this is obviously a very popular keyword and market research tool, but we're going to use it in quite a different way here today. I'm not going to use it necessarily to analyze keywords, but I'm going to use it to find me products that I can potentially sell. So if you're following along, I want you to do this on the screen with me now. So the first part of this technique is that you think up some category of a product. So, or really just the name of a product itself. So like the broad name of it. So for example, you can just look around your house, look around where you are right now and see these things. So like TV, table, stereo, back the other way, there's kitchen stuff, there's like fridge, microwave, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't have to be like around the house stuff and appliances, but that can be a good place to start if you're just looking for ideas. You can think about any place in life then, the name of a product like that, not the specific name, like the kind of table it is or the kind of whatever, just that core category of things. So I was thinking about this before, and I came up with just one for my kitchen, which is a blender. I have a bit of an interest in blenders as well at the moment, a whole other story, so it kind of came to my mind more quickly, but I was also interested because I know that blenders can get quite expensive, and that's what you should be looking for when you try to think up a category of product, something that is expensive. Expensive stuff is better to sell than cheap stuff because you're going to make a higher commission. So you just search the category of the product in here. You just type blender. You want to go over on the side here. You want to choose exact match, untick broad, and we're going to start, after we've entered our good old friend caption, I'm going to start by just hitting search here. And we might refine this search, but we'll sort of just see what comes up here. We can try to tick this button as well, but we can look at the results on both unticked and ticked for this, but I'm going to go with ticked now just to refine it a little bit. And then I want to sort by global monthly searches because I still want to look at the ones that are the most popular. So the first thing is that by typing in a generic word, like the category of a product like that, the Google keyword tool is going to give us the brand names of a lot of products that we didn't know about. So I could have known nothing about blenders 20 seconds ago. I came here and ran this search. Suddenly I know a little bit about blenders. I know, for example, certain kinds of blenders that are available. There's one called a Ninja blender, which seems quite popular. There's one called Vitamix blender, KitchenAid blender, Ulster blender. There's quite a number of them. Now, firstly, let me explain, if it's not immediately clear, why this is interesting. So the reason that this is interesting is that what something like this tells me, the Ninja blender, for example, I'll use one that's a little bit different. This is one I happen to know, this a Vitamix blender. My interest was because I purchased a blender recently. It was actually a Vitamix blender, so I'm excited to see that there's a lot of people who are like me, who are looking into these kind of things. So what this tells me, why this is interesting, is that I know there's 12,000 people searching for this Vitamix blender, but because now I know the brand name, I can have a look, I can refine my search and actually look for the brand name. And that's what I would do here. I want to search Vitamix because I'm guessing they have a whole range of products, many different searches, many different things available. So it looks like actually the main word, just Vitamix, is the thing that it is. Vitamix is the name of the blender itself, and this one was an advantage for me. I happen to know that because we purchased one recently. Anyway, why is this interesting to me? Well, this is interesting because now I know that there are 135,000 people every month, and really combining these numbers for the top, say 10 keyword phrases, there's probably more like 160 or 170,000 there. But let's stick with the low number. There's 135,000 people every month who are searching for a Vitamix. Now, this is different to traditional niche research because normally when you look for a niche, you find something like, and people talk to you about a niche like dog training, you go into that market and you don't know what those people want. If someone searches for dog training, you have an idea, but you don't really know. They could be looking for any number of different things. Maybe it's a dog training book, or maybe it's a dog training school, or maybe it's any number of things related to dog training. When someone searches Vitamix, you know exactly what they want. There's only one thing they can possibly want, and that is that product. That is one blender. 135,000 people who you could earn an affiliate commission from, and that's just on the main keyword. So the thing to realize about this, firstly, obviously this represents a fantastic opportunity, and this was just one of the blenders we checked. We don't have time for me to go back and check the other brand name blenders and see what variations they have, see what keywords they have. But with this one technique and that one search, even the one product that I tested, I could test 10 different things like this. That is a serious opportunity, and this can be capitalized on. We're going to talk about that soon. So first, it's exciting that there's 135,000 people, but we need some other confirmation as well. I need to know that I could theoretically sell this thing. I need to make sure there's an affiliate program. So this is really simple. All I do is go over to Google, I type Vitamix affiliate program in quotations, just like that. And I just need to confirm here that there is a Vitamix affiliate program. And as I can see, there certainly is a Vitamix affiliate program. I can look on some other links and try to find how much I can earn so that I can work that into my calculations later. Oh yes, I think I can see here it's 15% commissions, it says. 15% commissions on all Vitamix blenders of those two particular kinds. And just because I have one, I can skip the step of actually finding out how much the thing cost. The price of it is about $700 US, give or take. So we've got a potential for a 15% commission on $700, which is $105 commission per sale, and I can potentially sell these things to 135,000 people every month. Potentially, anyway. They're not all going to buy it, obviously, but that is a massive opportunity, a huge opportunity. I couldn't have found this by going to ClickBank. I couldn't have found it at Commission Junction or ShareSale. Even if I went to somewhere like Amazon, there's no easy way I can just isolate this product and go straight to it. But with this technique, I can have Google quickly alert me where markets exist for products, and specific products, brand name products. I can then refine the search to check out the brands, see what kind of volume they have in total for all the different products, and I can find big opportunities like this. This is a different kind of affiliate marketing. This is working on a different level, and if you do this, this is when affiliate marketing becomes very, very easy. So I'm going to flick back to the slides now and talk to you a little bit more about this market and look at exactly the potential that this represents. Okay, so we looked at a technique for finding a weird market. I want to talk to you a bit more about this market. So the stats that we just looked at, what does that mean exactly? Let's bring that down to numerical profit terms. What could that potentially mean? So we've got 135,000 searches per month. We're going to make a very conservative calculation right now. We're going to assume just that one keyword, and we even saw there was many other keywords below that. But let's say that we could have something ranking for that main keyword Vitamix. We didn't check how competitive it was yet, but we can do that later. There's many ways to do that, and there's many keywords anyway, so we've got a lot of options there. 135,000 searches a month. The best you can possibly do when you rank first in the search engines for any given keyword, the amount of traffic that you get is somewhere between 30 and 40%. So the best you could do is like 30% if you ranked number one. That means claim 30% of that amount of traffic of those searches. But let's say you don't even get position one. Let's be really conservative. Getting position one is not particularly difficult, but let's be really conservative. Let's say you get position 2 or 3. Let's say, and even at positions lower than that, if you have a really good site title and a really good description, you can get this amount of traffic. But let's say 10%. Let's say you can get just 10% of the visitors from just that one keyword coming to your site. 10% of the traffic. These are real numbers that exist on the majority of affiliate campaigns like the one we're talking about. So when you have product name traffic like this, and you're recommending the people that specific product on the piece of content that you create, the click-through rate that you'll get is 20 to 40%, sometimes even higher than that. But the people are already really targeted. They already want to buy. A large percentage of them are going to click through from your page to the affiliate link. So 30% of them are clicking through. From there, again, on product name keywords where people already want the thing, your conversion rates can be perfectly high. 4% is a conservative conversion rate estimate. We could look at 3%, but 4% is fairly average. You can certainly do better than that. I've had campaigns that convert like 9% and even higher than that. A couple that I'm thinking of right now are doing like 5% and 6%, so 4% is certainly a conservative estimate for conversion. That's 4% of the people that you sent through actually going to make a sale. Remember that our sale is 15% of a $700 blender, so the commission is $105. I had a look. That means, this scenario means that site in that weird little market that we couldn't find anywhere else is worth $17,000 a month to someone if they can make that happen. And remember how conservative that was. We looked at one keyword. We looked at 10% of the search traffic where we could potentially get 30. We looked at low numbers for the click-through and the conversion rate, and that could potentially be worth $17,000 a month income stream for us. Even if you messed all of that up and you halved every one of those numbers because you did it so poorly, you got an $8,000 a month income stream there. And that was a niche that we came across, a market that we came across in 5 minutes with just one of many techniques like this that you can use. I hope you get a picture from this why I say that the potential with this kind of thing really is unlimited. So I hope that helps you to understand what a weird market is and why they can be so profitable and exactly how profitable they can be provided you know how to find them. We're going to move on now and talk about step 2. So step 2 of the process is how to make these small, really simple, very easy sites that can rank and can be found by the people who are searching for those keywords, those products that they want to buy. They can come to the site and then we can help convert those people into buyers. So we're going to talk about these sites now. What exactly is a drop dead easy site? So the sites that I use always, they are literally just clean, simple looking WordPress blog mini sites. They're on your own domain, so not hosted at wordpress.com or anything like that. And they are dedicated solely to that little market most often. So one site per market. So we found that example in the previous video. In the example rather, we would make a site just on that product. Now you can vary this, and you can just as easily run this model and make slightly bigger sites, more authority type sites where you promote multiple products. And they actually do have a part in your portfolio when you do this method exactly like I described. You have a small number of those authority sites, but the majority of your portfolio is these mini sites. So that's what we're going to talk about. So that's all they are, clean, simple looking WordPress blogs. The content on them that we publish then, which is really the core of the site, the key part of the site is the content. It really doesn't matter much what it looks like at all, but what's on it, the content, the information that people take in, that those people take in who are searching for that product, is very important. Down to every single word almost is important. So the content that has to be on these sites is content that is valuable to people in those little markets. So note that the first thing I said wasn't has to be well keyword optimized, has to have affiliate links in these 3 positions. No, the first thing that I said is that the content on the site has to be valuable to people in those little markets. If you start from that base point, then everything you do from there on is much easier. It's easier to demonstrate to Google that your site has value. It's easier for the stats that Google takes from your site to demonstrate that your site really does have value, and it's easier to turn the visitors that get to your site into people who will actually make your money when your site has value. So the very first thing is creating content that's valuable to people in those little markets. What content is that? There's a number of different things. We all know this because we have been before people who are about to buy a product. There's a lot of information we need, particularly when it's a high price point product. If you're going to spend $500 on something, you're usually searching for different bits of information to make sure you can feel confident that that purchase of yours is going to be the right one. So different kinds of information you can provide. You can provide how-to kind of stuff, like how to use the thing once you've got it, how to get the most out of it. It might be review content, like I'm a person who's tried this product before and this is how I found it, or just I've researched the heck out of this product online and compared it to other products and this is how it stacks up, etc. Could be buying advice, where to get it, how to get it cheapest, what shipping options are best, things like that. Could be comparisons to other products in the market. Could be just generally insider information that you had to find out by hunting down yourself because the company who sells the product wasn't really forthcoming in telling their customers about that. And there are many other options there too. Note one thing, however, is that what this means is that there are reasons for people to come to you even instead of going to the actual merchant. So people often ask me, when you're in one of these markets where there are some people who are actually merchants for the site and you are competing as an affiliate, how do you make that work? How are you ever going to rank above the merchant? Well, the core of the answer is that you can provide more value than the merchant, or at least as much value. And some of the ways that you do that are by providing information that the merchant won't provide. Providing stuff that people can't get from anywhere else but your site, or at least can't get from the merchant. And when you do that in combination with having a better SEO strategy, which is often very easy to do because a lot of those companies just don't put enough effort into their SEO, it's very easy, majority of cases, to rank above a merchant and claim even more traffic for those product keywords than they do. The core of the model of building out these drop-dead easy sites is that you start with basically the minimum commitment in a market. The worst thing that can happen as an affiliate and someone running affiliate marketing campaigns like this, whether it's paid traffic or free or anything, is that you make a start, you make some investment, whether it's time or money, into researching the market, into setting up the site, creating the content, and getting into the market, to find out later that it's not as profitable as you expected or that you thought it would be. And that's the scenario that if you want to quickly build an affiliate income, an affiliate business, you have to try to avoid. Or you have to do everything you can really to avoid. And the way that we avoid that in this model is by doing just this, by dipping our toe into a market with the minimal possible commitment. Like to find one of those markets that we just discussed, you saw we did it in 5 minutes in an example here. To create a really simple site in that market can be another 5 minutes from there, and to have someone write the content for you can be, I don't know, $20 to $50. So it's a minimal commitment to get into this market, and then you begin with that simple web property, and then you expand based on the results you see in that market. So there are other things you do as well to begin seeing your first visitors into that market and to test exactly how well people in that market are going to respond to that very product, because it's not a lock that just because they're searching for it they definitely are going to buy it. And you need to test other things like what exactly you need to say to have those people buy at the highest rate and things like that. So we start in a market with a minimal possible commitment, and then we expand based on what we see in that market. So if we get a little bit of traffic and we see that this market is fantastically profitable, we expand from there. We commit more of our focus, our time and resources onto that site, to expanding it, growing our content, finding more keywords, and so on. But this is the core. It all starts with these drop dead easy sites. In profitable markets, when you get to the point where you realize that you should expand, you create multiple properties. There's a certain amount of traffic and so profit to be claimed in that market. You do everything you can to claim as much of that profit as you can, and you do that by creating multiple properties, and you gradually expand to more sites, not only in that one market but in more markets, for maximum diversity of income sources. So the best way to run this model is start with your niche research like we talked about, and then find 3 or 4 niches to start on, 4 products like that, and then create sites on all of them. Dip your toe into the water of all of them. Start to see what the nature of those markets are, what your results are, and then you expand based on what works, and then you keep growing that portfolio of sites to find more profitable markets, more profitable sites, and by doing that you scale up your income, one income stream at a time. So to talk a little bit more about these sites now, what exactly it is that we do with them, I thought I'd give you 3 tips for little sites that Google loves. So this is 3 things that you can do, either if you have affiliate sites now, particularly if they're WordPress sites, WordPress blogs. These are 3 tips that you can take away from this presentation and begin to use immediately to get better search engine rankings with your little mini sites, and to be able to have little sites that you make still conquer the search engines and make sales without any big time commitment or huge investment. So these are 3 things, particularly that right now in SEO, is super important. So the first thing that we, as SEOs, we never had to pay much attention to, but now we have to pay a ton of attention to, is your site speed. You need to have a site that loads really quickly, and you might think by default that your site does load really quickly, because when you go to it, it loads up really quickly and you've never seen a problem, but you don't know the site speed of when other people from different places, different parts of the world are accessing it. And Google is watching this. They're watching your site speed, and they're comparing your site speed to other sites in your market. So even if when you go to your site it loads up perfectly fine, you don't see any real problems there, if it happens to be slower than other sites in your market, it's going to make it more difficult for you to compete against those sites. And it's a thing that's really easy to improve and to fix and get to the maximum speed it can be, so there's no reason for anyone not to just do it immediately. So you can check the speed of any site. Pingdom has a great tool. You can go to that URL there, you just type in your URL, and they're going to tell you not only how fast your site loads, but how it compares to other sites, not in your industry, but just compares to other sites that they test. So it'll say your speed is this, and that's faster than X number of other sites, X percentage of other sites that we test, and you'll get an idea from that. Really, with a content-focused WordPress blog like this, your site load speed shouldn't be much more than a second or 2 seconds or something like that. It should be very, very low, because you're not holding anything on your sites that's really heavy like that. So it's crazy though, because the WordPress theme that you use, the way that it's coded and what elements it has in the code, without getting into all the technical stuff, because it's not you don't have to understand the technical stuff to understand this point, that different WordPress themes you use can cause your site to load at different speeds, and there are some WordPress themes that are better than others for site speed, in fact much better than others. I've had a couple of sites before where it's a normal simple plain looking theme just like I normally use, but when I test the site I notice that it's loading slowly for some reason. Then I flick the theme over to a different theme. The look of it is relatively similar, but the way that it's coded, that site loads up much faster, 3, 4, 5 times faster, and it gives me a search engine boost because of that. So check your site speed there. And another cool thing is to use this plugin called WP Super Cache for maximum speed. There's a couple of different caching plugins that you can use. I won't go into an explanation here of exactly how these work and why they work, but if you install that plugin, you just Google search that plugin, install it, get it onto your blogs and activate it. You have to click into the menu options and press the button to enable it. 9 times out of 10, unless your site was super fast to begin with, just doing that will increase your site speed more, quite consistently and for many, many users, and that will help you get an advantage in the search engines. Another really important thing that is I can't say anything but so important, but so many people overlook, is to be very conscious of what URLs you have that Google is indexing. So Google finds it weird and may even be penalizing you if they crawl your site with their spiders, and a lot of pages that don't have any content on them really, and that maybe even can't be read by a human visitor, or have content that's duplicated across your site, appear in their index. So you can do a search for your site. Just go to Google and search site : your site, and if it's a WordPress blog, you'll usually see a number of these pages come up, which are things like your admin pages, like your admin login page, some weird PHP files that Google has found their way to that will link to from WordPress somehow. Your WP content folder often comes up there, and other things as well. And when Google is indexing those pages, and your site is very small, let's say you have 5 or 6 pages of content, which certain very profitable little affiliate sites, both of mine and other people's, do have, but they have 15 URLs indexed in total. 10 of them are these weird WP content pages or PHP files or admin pages, and only 5 of them are actual human readable, high quality, unique pieces of content. Well, that's going to cause a problem. That's going to cause Google to look strangely at your site and wonder, is this site really very high in quality? Should it really be ranking for whatever your keywords are? So an easy way to fix this is to install a SEO plugin called Yoast SEO plugin. You can Google search that. It will give you the option to hide, to use robots.txt to block these pages from being indexed in the search engines. So with just a couple of clicks of buttons within this plugin, you'll make sure that Google's not indexing any of those weird pages, and all of the pages that they do index are the high quality content that you have created. Really important on-page optimization stuff there that too many people overlook. When it comes to the content of these sites, we talked about the kind of thing that we write, information that's valuable for the people who are about to buy one of these products, but it should be arranged in a certain way, and it should be written in a certain way as well. One of the biggest changes that I've made in my content creation and SEO for these affiliate sites in the last kind of 12 months is to change from keyword-based content to topic-based content. So right now, I'm just not as interested in targeting in my content keywords anymore. I start out a piece of content with a keyword that I want to rank for, but it's not the basis for writing that piece of content. For example, if we found some product name, I would send the keyword to my writer and just say, create a great review of this piece of content. I wouldn't say anything about keyword density. I wouldn't say anything about how many times to mention any particular phrase. I would just say create a great review of this particular product with the best information that you can find. That's an example of a topic rather than a keyword-based piece of content. And Google notices that now. It helps you avoid any kind of penalties or suspicion for quote-unquote over-optimization or doing anything unnatural. The reality is the most natural, highest quality piece of content is the best you can do for the search engines. Not only that, but create, strangely, amazingly, to some affiliates, the highest converting piece of content that you can write is the one that's the highest quality. Who would have thought? Amazing, right? So I use 800 word minimum articles. They'll usually go 800 to anywhere up to 1200 words, as high quality as I possibly can manage on the topic or the product that I'm writing about. And there's a number of things that I do in that piece of content to create the highest conversion, to get the most click-throughs, and to get people as excited as possible about the product without being really salesy towards it. Unfortunately, we don't have time to get into all of those techniques now, but I hope you're getting a picture at this stage of exactly what that kind of content and what this kind of drop-dead easy little site looks like. Really, there's not much more to it, and that's the cool part. There's not many other things that I need to talk about here. If you understand what we've mentioned in the last 2 slides, you can create one of these drop-dead easy sites, and you can get it to rank in the search engines and make money. That's what we're going to talk about next. So, to give you an example, another case study of one of these drop-dead easy sites, and a little bit more about it so you can keep piecing this together. So, another site that I have, this site has 10 pages, slightly more than the previous one, 10 pages of great unique content on it. This site gets 45 visitors a day, so really not many at all, but they're all from those highly targeted product name keywords. I'm providing information to people who really want to buy this one particular product. This particular site, one of the better ones in my portfolio, it makes around 3,000, well, actually, in fact, the last month that I recorded, it was $3,024 a month. You'll see the traffic stats of that one here. I grabbed a little screenshot, and I grabbed the a shot from inside the account as well. It's a little bit hard to read there. They have a weird affiliate panel, this particular company, but the commissions on this product are $94.50, and you see in this slide that there was 78 clicks that I generated, a really small number, and in a week, you can see the last 7 days up the top, in a week there was 8 conversions at $94.50. It's $756 a week and around about $3,024 a month. So a really cool, profitable site with a tiny amount of traffic. There's no one listening to this webinar who couldn't generate 45 visitors a day to a site. In fact, that is the average. Many days, perhaps even most days, the site gets a lower number of traffic than this as well. So we're going to talk about step 3 now, the free high conversion traffic that we get. Those 45 visitors a day that I was just talking about, where did they come from? How did I acquire them? And how can you acquire them? That is the big question. So, for this model, I operate on good old search engine traffic. There's big discussions to be had about the different kinds of traffic that can be generated, particularly in the last 12 months. A lot of people have been very down on search engine traffic because Google made a number of changes last year that were intimidating to certain people who were doing things in certain ways. A lot of people turned away from search engine traffic. Well, I'm going to tell you that if you're an affiliate, the only way that you can possibly ever hope to generate one sale every 10 visitors and have that kind of really high conversion, high profit for a low amount of work and a low amount of traffic generation effort is through search engine marketing. There really is no other way. You can start a Facebook campaign, sure, yeah, you can buy some media traffic, you can advertise on some particular site, whatever it is you like. You're going to be taking in hundreds, even thousands of visitors in order to get a sale on that stuff. That's expensive and that's challenging. This model is about being as simple as possible. So for affiliates, there is really nothing like search engine traffic. And most importantly, search engine traffic isn't near as difficult as some people believe, as you might have noticed from the fact that these very small sites that I have rank very easily, they can rank quickly, and they can maintain their rankings for significant periods of time. So search engine traffic, there's a few things that we need to say. Not just anything can rank in the search engines these days. In the good old days of search engine marketing, you could put up any old page and hit the keyword right, and you would be ranking quickly and like within 48 hours quickly and making money really quickly. That's not the case anymore. You have to play by the right rules now. They're not difficult rules to follow, but you have to be following the right ones. And what those right ones are evolving. It's not like they just suddenly, we wake up one morning and the rules all become different. What does happen is some people wake up some mornings and what they were doing previously, which many, even the majority of cases, they knew better than, they find out is now no longer working. So if you're starting from scratch right now and following the right principles from day one, the right methodology, the things that Google likes and the things that your readers like, you don't have to worry about Google penalties in that same way. It's just a very different ball game for you. So not anything can rank in the search engines these days, that is true, but in super low competition markets, like the ones we've been talking about, the ones where not many other people are trying for, with high quality, highly targeted sites, like the kind of sites we've been talking about, anyone following the current profitable search engine strategy can get hordes of free buying visitors from Google, and not just Google as well. That's something new. We'll talk about that later. Right now, and in some cases even easier than before. That sounds like a really crazy thing to say, because for most people the search engines have become more difficult in the last 12 months. For people who are doing the right things, they became a little bit easier than they were before. I'm going to give some examples of that in a second. The point that I want you to take away from this particular slide is that search engine traffic is still very real, it's still very profitable, and it's still very attainable. There is nothing about getting free visitors from the search engines that is any more difficult than getting traffic from any source on the internet. I guarantee that is the case, and people who do lots of different traffic generation stuff, they know that well, and they would verify that with me. Okay, we're going to talk about some specific SEO strategies now, because there are some things that are working right now in 2013 that if you implement them, you can have fantastic results with this in a short period of time. I wanted to talk about what some of those things are. So before we do, the first thing to recognize is that most of what it takes to make money in Google, we've done already. We've already isolated a market that has really low competition. We've already created a high quality site that provides real value to real people. We've already added value in that way. That stuff is done. The last piece of the puzzle is the least significant one, really. I mean, you can't make money without this last piece, but comparing it to the other pieces, again, we've done the most important work that has to be done here. A couple of things. When you're making a new site, a new one of these mini sites, you have to use cloaked affiliate links and a mix of affiliate and non-affiliate content. Because there are some affiliates that do business differently to how we do things, Google has a wariness toward affiliates. Some people think Google hates affiliates, and I refute that claim at every chance that I get. Google doesn't hate affiliates, they just hate sites that are thin, low quality, and not providing any value to their end users. And sometimes all of us affiliates get grouped in with the idiotic few that do things in a clearly unsustainable way. So because of that, we have to take some measures to make sure Google doesn't lump us in with those crappy affiliates. One of the things that we can do is to cloak our affiliate links right from the beginning, so no naked affiliate links on your new WordPress blog, and to use a mix of affiliate and non-affiliate content. That means if you were creating a site around one particular product, you might make three pieces of content on that product to begin with, and then another couple of pieces of content that were just of general interest to people who might be buying that product. Not product related necessarily, and without it containing an affiliate link. The number of indexed pages on your site that contains an affiliate link and that ratio may be helpful in helping Google to identify us as a quality site separate from the lower quality affiliates that we want to dissociate from. So that's really important, 2013. Also 2013, and really this has always been the case, but it means some different things now, gentle and natural with your SEO. So we're going to talk about this a little more in a second, but one of the things that is cool for SEOs and for affiliates like us that has changed in the last 12 months for the better is that Google got a little bit better at rewarding the thing that they said they always wanted. They said they always wanted people to not build links really aggressively, to not build a huge number of links, to not try and do anything that manipulates the search results and all of this, and to just do link building naturally and generally, and then you'll get results. And it was never really the case, and it's still not completely the case. We still have to judge Google on what they actually rank and not what they say they rank. But it is more easy now to get rankings, to get traffic and make money by doing things very gently and very naturally when it comes to your link building we're talking about now, and your promotion in the search engines. What I do right now is to use a very low pressure, low aggression, white hat link building strategy early on. So I'll spend around about the first month, a little bit more, building links to my site, but only from very specific sources, only certain kinds of links, the most natural kind of white hat, high quality links that I can possibly get, and not very high in number. I would never build a number of links up to, say, 100 links in that first month. That's it's not necessarily that you will definitely get penalized if you do that, but you just have a higher chance of Google casting a suspicious eye on you, and there's no reason to do that. So I start with a very simple low aggression white hat link building strategy, and then after a certain point, when my site has been established a little bit in a market, when it's got a good amount of content, it's had some visitors coming in, then I change to a mildly more assertive link building strategy after that, where I'll start to put in some more high value links So for example, some high page rank links or some links for some really high quality sites and high value sources, and also some links that actually contain my anchor text, because I don't do a lot of that anymore as well. I wish we had time to expand into that. But that principle, you should remember, is very important. A low pressure strategy from the beginning, as high quality as possible, and then afterwards a very little bit of some very high power links, and that is working fantastically. It has been for the last probably 6 months, and it hasn't changed at all with this gentle approach, being able to get results. That's really cool stuff. The other thing is that fewer backlinks are required for rankings than has been the case for a long time. So I've noticed more than a couple of examples where after I finish that early white hat stage, I can throw a small number of links on, like 5 of these links that are really high in value, sometimes but not always high PR, and that contain my anchor text, and I can notice that that the search engines can respond to that very, very quickly. This is an extremely natural link building campaign, and that's how people build links, or at least end up getting links when they're not really trying to do it. And that's one of the things that Google's become better at. That's one of the ways that it has become easier for us. I'm going to show you some examples in a second of sites, of how many links the sites that I've talked about with you so far have actually had. A smaller number of links now can rank you just as well, and particularly in these really small markets that are low competition anyway. Remember, aggressive SEO is unnatural, and now Google is a little better at rewarding those who do less work at certain things. It's really just a matter of knowing what those things are. So, interestingly, the first site that I showed you, case study 1 on this page, that was the $1,100 a month site that has 75 total backlinks. It's quite a small number. It's certainly not thousands. The second site, I should say case study 2, it's a little bit older and it's had a little bit more SEO work done on it, but the $3,000 a month site, not a lot of links at all. It has 104 unique backlinks in total. So it's not a lot of SEO work. And the other profitable sites of mine, the ones we haven't talked about from my portfolio today, many have far fewer links than that. So it really is the case that right now, getting rankings in the search engines doesn't take anywhere near as much work as it has done in the past. It just takes a smarter strategy. The cool thing about this as well is that I didn't personally build one of these backlinks for any of these sites. Another way that it's easier to get rankings in the search engines now than it has been in the past is that SEO as an industry, as a business, is at a point where getting quality SEO work done is easier than it ever has been. It's more easy now to outsource the great SEO tasks, the smart SEO strategies that you need to implement in order to get results. So this whole process of building links is not something that you personally get bogged down in anymore. Even if you have a tiny budget, you can outsource this smart SEO strategy for very cheap, and that's a reason for great excitement for all of us. I mean, I asked this question kind of sarcastically, but sort of real as well. Looking at this amount of work and everything we've talked about so far, I mean, spending 10 minutes to find a market, putting up a site in 10 minutes, you can outsource that as well if you need, and telling some people the right backlinking work to do to get your site ranking. Is that, if you're listening, is that an amount of work that you think you could manage? Actually type the answer to me in the question box. I just need to see the validation of this right now. I think a lot of the yeses there. Yes, yeses, a couple of sarcastic no's. Yeah, of course it is. Alright, this is clearly an amount of work that anyone can manage, because it doesn't cost a lot of money and it doesn't take a lot of time. The step 4, which wasn't really a step, was to diversify and replicate. So that means you choose your desired level of income, you pick a goal. Let's say it's $5,000 a month. You say, if I had $5,000 a month rolling in, passive every month, that would allow me to quit my job, or that would pay my mortgage for the month, or that would pay all of my bills and allow me X amount of money to spend on the things that I really want that I'm not able to manage now. And you work backwards from there. You systematize what we've talked about, so you put it into a process where it's a set of steps that's a 1 to 10, and you do the same set of steps, and then you repeat them in another niche, in another market, for another site, and you just keep scaling and growing like that, always expanding on your successes. So where you find profits, you don't just leave them there and then move away completely. You find them and then assume that there's probably other profits that are close by. So you replicate into sideline markets, and you grow even more quickly when you do that. Finally, as your income grows, and I say this because not enough people talk about this, and this is the whole point of doing online business, as your income grows and it moves towards that goal, what you do is you get off the computer and you go do what's really important to you in life. Whatever that thing is if you want to spend more time with your family, you do that. If you want to travel more, you get that done. Like, none of us just get into this business just to have a couple extra zeros in the bank. It always has to translate to something that is really important in life, and every one of you listening has something like that. I have my own things. That's what this business is really about. So the income potential of this stuff, I mean, if you haven't done this before, it's hard to understand from the beginning exactly how easy this can be and how much potential there is to make money with this stuff. Markets like the one we found in this presentation, although it may not have seemed like a common market and one that you just thought of immediately, these exist in their thousands. The number of these, not thousands is even far too small. Thinking back, I'm not sure why I wrote thousands there. There are more markets like this than you can imagine. All you need, like I said, is the techniques to be able to find them. And even with those techniques, these markets renew every day. Even if hypothetically you could find every one of these markets that existed, you would wake up in the morning and there would be new ones there for you to find. New companies, there are tens of thousands of businesses all over the world producing new products, coming up with new ideas, new things every day. And each one of them represents a new market, assuming at least someone wants them. You cannot get to the end of the opportunities that there are with this. And even if 1,000 people took this and actually started using it, my method that I use, and started digging through these markets, they wouldn't even find them all. It's literally endless. Talking about the potential, you could do exactly what we've done in this presentation. You could have a site up and running within the next hour. There's nothing that we did, nothing that's part of this process that would prevent you from doing that. You could have the site optimized, filled with content, ready to profit in another 24 hours. You could have that article, that content written for you by the right person, and that would be done. You could have the promotion and the traffic generation work initiated, begun, obviously not complete because that's ongoing, initiated within 48 hours. And you could be profiting within 10 days. Now that sounds a little bit crazy, possibly an exaggeration you might think, but I'm going to tell you a story about someone who used this method recently. So long story short, I spoke at a conference recently where I was talking to people about this method. I've only put the finishing touches on this method, like the 2013 version of it, in the last sort of 3 months now. And it was November last year. I was speaking at a conference about this stuff, and I offered to take a few people on, like 5 people, I think it was actually 9 people on, to coach them personally through this. And there's this guy Joe who was one of those people. Joe is in his late 60s. You're going to see a picture of him in a second. He's late 60s. He's a retired dentist. Actually, there's Joe. He's a champion. He's a cool guy. Late 60s. He's a retired dentist. His internet skills were reasonable, but he's no expert whatsoever. And he'd only been playing around with quote-unquote make money online for about 5 months. Joe and I did 4 coaching sessions on this, where I spoke to him on Skype and I said, I'll take you through this method. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing now. We can work on it together and implement it, and we'll see how you do. Joe had his first, we found him a weird market straight away, just like we did on this call. It's very easy to do. We got his site up and running, we got his content published, and we began promoting his site. I'm not kidding you. Joe made his first sale in 10 days. He sent me an email. He showed me the details from his ClickBank account. He made a sale for $56 on this cool product that we found, and he continued to make sales from that point on. He was up and running 10 days. That is honest to God exactly what happened, and it was crazy. I won't have time to talk about them in this presentation, but the people that I coached, some of them are still going, but of those 9 people, there's 6 people that have actually finished the training with me now, and 5 of them were exactly the same. Not all 10 days. Another guy was after his 2nd week. Another lady was after her, it was about day 24. 5 out of 6 of them made money within 4 sessions talking about this strategy with me. So, I mean, I only say this because it was a point of pride for me. It's one thing for me to be able to make money with this stuff, but for me to be able to transfer it so easily onto someone with such minimal experience and have them see results in such a short period of time, that really got me going inside. That made me more excited about this than I've ever been. So quick recap here. The 3 steps to profit that we've talked about. Number 1, you find a weird little market. And little is something of a misnomer. You just find a weird market that's out of the way, that's a buyer group of people, that's big, and that you can capitalize on easily. You knock up a drop-dead simple mini site that is high in quality and providing real value, extremely important. And 3, you use simple 2013 effective SEO and link building strategies to get free high conversion traffic. The 4th and not really step is you do steps 1 to 3 again. You repeat, scale, and grow your profits to whatever is the level that you desire. The system that I'm talking about now, the one that I showed Joe and the one that built the sites that I showed you in this presentation, is an affiliate marketing system that I've been slowly crafting and refining for about 7 years. I started off with a version of this site that worked 7 years ago, and basically every year I've reinvented it, made it better and more easy and more profitable. So the system that I have now that we've been talking about, that I showed Joe and that I use to make all of those sites, is an affiliate marketing system for fast and lasting passive affiliate income. You can, if you do the right things with this, you can generate an income within 10 days, just like Joe did, and you can generate a lasting passive affiliate income with these little sites that will keep ticking over month after month, regardless of how much you work on them. This is a system where you will do that from small niches and simple sites with no complicated technical knowledge, without doing anything that the average person couldn't do. A system to create income streams that are scalable to meet your income goals. So an affiliate marketing system where you can pick a value, it's $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever your goal income is, and scale, meaning repeat the same set of tasks to build up to that income goal, whatever it is. And an affiliate marketing system that allows for a location-independent business, a time-independent online business, that it doesn't matter when you work on it or where you work on it, your income will keep ticking over in the same way. I compiled this system, the most recent, the most up-to-date, the 2013 set of strategies that is working absolutely best for me right now, into a set of videos where I basically recorded myself going through the entire process live on an example site, just like I did with the people that I coached when I was on Skype with them. I recorded every step of the process from start to finish on a real site so that you could see exactly how it works, copy it for yourself, and profit in exactly the same way. To begin some of the things that are in it, I demonstrate, for example, the 10 best techniques for finding those weird little markets. I kind of showed you that one today, but that's not even one of my new ones. So there's 10 techniques which are the best for finding those weird little markets in places that you wouldn't have even expected. The kind of markets, or rather the kind of techniques where you can use one of them and you could quickly find 10 markets in it that could be worth $1,000 a month. And that's really conservative. You remember the example market at the start of this video was a $8,000 or $17,000 a month profit stream. You can quickly generate 10 markets from that are worth $1,000 a month each with those techniques. I show you the complete analysis process that allows me to know how much money there is in a market and how easily I can obtain it. So when you come across these markets, you know, okay, that could potentially be worth that much, that's worth spending time on and getting to because that fits with my income goals. I flat out tell you the kind of markets where I've made the most money in the past, so that if you want, you can skip the work and go straight to those profitable markets. Not the exact products that I promote, because I have to protect my own income streams that way, but I tell you the kind of products they are, so you can go right to those markets, find similar products, and make just as much money. There's not many people around that are willing to give you that kind of information. That stuff is really just the beginning though. After that, I give you my power site setup videos, which is exactly how I knock out one of those drop dead simple mini sites within about 10 minutes. That is how to make one of those sites so it's perfectly optimized for your readers, perfectly optimized for Google, and as quickly as possible. Not only that, if you don't even want to mess around with that stuff at all, I'll also show you how to get someone to set up your site for about $10 to go through the entire process, just knocking that site out with all of the plugins that we talked about, all of the settings that it needs for perfect optimization and conversion for about $10. It's absolutely ridiculous. Someone on my own outsourced team will be available to. You'll get my post-2012 content creation strategy, which is how I'm writing content right now so that it brings people to it from the search engines and makes money. The kind of content that can create a sale every 10 visitors, that type of content, stuff that Google loves and that your readers appreciate. Further, you don't want to even do that work. I give you my own content writers as well. They offered to be available for you to create your content for you, so you don't even have to do that work if you don't want to. I included the promotional tactics that I use to get your little site off the ground once it's made and get your first visitors flowing to it in under a week. That's with free traffic strategies, totally white hat, no risk, but maximum impact. Even this is really just scratching the surface of what is involved in this. I show you the 2013 link building strategy that's allowing my sites to quickly rank right now and stay there as of today. You'll see every link I build, at what quantity, at what time, and from what place, no detail omitted. And because none of this link building is stuff that I actually do, I'll also give you access to all of my link building resources. Every service I use, every person I go to, people that I've tested and proven before, so you can keep the whole thing hands off if you wish, get them to carry it out for you. Further, I'll give you the underlying model that allows anyone to replicate these sites and scale up their incomes. One income stream at a time, up to 5 figures per month and beyond. The exact set of steps. Remember I told you that set of steps, that's step 1 to 10. You do the same thing over and over again in different markets and you grow your income $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month at a time. I'll give you that exact set of steps because I've done it before and I've showed other people as well. Every detail of every step of this process I go through live on screen. You got my live sites to copy, you just make them look exactly like mine do. Live markets in play, you do what I do and replicate the results. This whole process, there's about 60 videos with every single step, every technique meticulously documented so you can watch it and copy it and profit. I was asked to put together a special offer for people who wanted to pursue this affiliate marketing model and make some money with it themselves. So this is the thing that I put together. So what you've got is the Forever Affiliate video course. That's the main documentation of everything that we've been talking about. The whole system, start to finish. You copy it, you make money as well. The 3-step system to replicate those $300 to $3,000 a month mini sites right now in 2013. This is the value of a $997 course, and I know that because I've seen most of the $997 courses that other people have who teach making money online stuff. There is more information in this course than in those $1,000 courses. I can guarantee you that. I'll give you the bonus niches of where I've made the most money. You'll be able to go straight to those markets, pick profitable products there, and profit yourself. The value of that bonus is $97. I'll give you my outsourcing resources so you can get any part of the work done very quickly, very cheaply for you. The value of that, I mean, I just conservatively estimated at $497. Really, it's cost me thousands of dollars to accumulate that team and to train them and to teach them exactly what to do over time, so it's extremely valuable. I have a guarantee with this stuff because I've seen it work so many times and so easily. I do what's kind of more than a double money back guarantee on this, where if you actually put this system into place, if you follow the videos that I provide and do the whole thing, you get to the end, you can show me what you did and you didn't make money from it, I refund your money that you pay for the course. I send you $100 cash just out of my own pocket to say, wow, you've shocked me, I've never seen this before, congratulations. The total real world value of everything here, conservatively estimated, is $1,591. Today, because I've just released this Forever Affiliate course and I'm doing a special offer, the launch period is still on. It goes for 10 days. Right now you can get lifetime access to the full Forever Affiliate video course for one payment of $67. It's going to be increasing after that 10 days, and there may not be 10 days yet. There may not be 10 days left either, so that price is really going to be gone very quickly. $67 right now today. So for anyone listening, you can start your first profit stream today. You can visit the link below this video right now to check that out for yourself and to begin making your first profit streams immediately. You get lifetime access to the Forever Affiliate video course for $300 to $3,000 a month income streams in 2013. That's $997 value. You get my bonus niches where I've made the most money. You get my outsourcing resources to get any part of it or all of it done completely hands off for you. You get the double money back guarantee. I'll send you $100 if you show me that it didn't work. and it's available today. Very special launch pricing only, $67. That's really all I've got for you here today. I really hope you found that presentation valuable. I hope you will you will be able to take some things from that presentation that you can go away, implement right now, and start making money from yourself. And I really hope you get to check out the Forever Affiliate course, because people are using this right now who have less experience than you, and they are making money with it. There is really no limit to how well you can do with this, and if you get the chance to check it out, I'll see you in the course on the inside. I want to say thanks again for everyone for listening, for having me here, and I'll take some questions now.